Bulavanaka, welcome to Drua Talk with Greg Clark. Great to have your company again this week as we review the Swire shipping Fijian Drua's frustrating trip to Perth. Life on the road is not getting any better for the men from Fiji. Well, this week we chat to head coach Mick Byrne. Drua prop Haereiti Hetet pops into Clarkie's corner. Reds Fijian star Suliasi Vunivalu chats about this week's clash in Suva as he gets set for a homecoming. There's game highlights, tries of the week, and everything you need to know about the Shop and Save Super Rugby Pacific. Well, let's start in Perth. The Drua were desperate to break their losing run away from Fiji that dates back to week 1 against Moana last year. Yes, last year. The Force were bottom of the table, the Drua 8th, but for whatever reason, the Drua failed to fire.
We are underway. Fiji and Drua kicking off to the Western Force in their traditional blue and black strip. And Nick White sending it back towards halfway. Strong take from Drua Sese. And the skipper, Drua Strong Vunivalu, out he goes. Hetet through the hands, Fiji and Drua. Was neatly towed from Okuro. Not a great pass for him in the Force. Just shy of halfway. Rodder for Tizano. That's the Force with an early advantage. Donaldson, Beale. Great hands for Williams, a bit of room to work. Jeremy Williams still going. Williams streaking down towards the line. Tia. The Force within the opening minute. Chase Tia scores.
Well, that's exactly how you play advantage. You had the advantage of the Western Force. It's really valuable for a side. It's essentially a dual playmaker role, and you're seeing the value of it now.
Will Harris, here's Horton. Stewart, a metre away. And Tizano! The Force fan favourite has been doing so much in defence and gets another try and attack. Really, really good start from the Force. A knock-on call. And that will do us for the opening half of this round 12 Super Rugby Pacific clash. Western Force, what a start from them and that man. Place of the ladder in 8th and what's to come. The final's not too far away. And we are back underway, the second half between the Western Force and Fijian Drua. And
that's really disappointing, that distance, isn't it, Johnny Lance, for the Drua?
Yeah, they would have had the call for the maul. It was throw the tricky line out at them, but yeah, they would have had the maul call and then they have to change it, which puts a bit of doubt in the mind.
Searching for try number 1, Rodder for the Force. Sprinting out to slow things down. Vote about 8 away. Here is Mitchell, or Murray rather. Armstrong Ravula through with a player down in back play. Murray walked down. Kanabara out the back. Armstrong Ravula and Marcy. And another Taramanda! Sublime in the air. Wonderful pace, and Fijian Drua start the second half with a try. Needs support, Nick White breaks it up, and here's Jeremy Williams, almost underneath his own posts. Fijian Drua right on top of the Force.
Big decision coming up. They take the 3 points. And they go scrum time.
You can't kick the ball away like that.
Yellow card, wow, Nick White.
This match has well and truly twisted and turned in the opening 11 minutes of the second half. He's joined the Force ahead of this year, so congratulations to Harry, as Stewart is just about there. Against the run of play, the Force sniffing out another try.
Last feet. Thank you.
Here goes Michael Wells, and there's the try. The Western Force. Donaldson. Oh, decent ball for Faifua, and Reed Princep is through. Princep stops. Faifua was with him, and Faifua gives the Force plenty to celebrate. big shot from a couple of forced players. And now Jeremy Williams. Here's Beale. Great ball from Beale. Kunzel running away inside for Horton. Horton back to Kunzel. It's showtime for the Western Force at HBF Park.
Easily one of their more impressive performances as a team and individually.
Robertson involved, and Donaldson again slices through. Donaldson around the outside. Donaldson, have yourself a night. And the Western Force, 46, lead the Drua 10. Henry Robertson sends it back, and fittingly, it is Ben Donaldson that ends things at HBF Park. The Western Force's second biggest win by margin in Super Rugby history.
A second half capitulation by the Drua. They just can't find any form on the road. In other Week 12 games, the Chiefs were too strong for Moana, winning 43-7 in Auckland. The Reds came from behind to beat the Rebels in Brisbane 26-22. In the top of the table clash, the Blues made a statement, downing the Hurricanes 31-27 in Auckland. In the All-South Island battle, the Highlanders ended a long losing streak against the Crusaders, winning 32-29 in Dunedin. The Brumbies denied the Waratahs in Sydney, winning 29-21. And in Perth, the Force kept their season alive with that 48-10 win over the Drua. To the ladder, and it's the Blues on top with 3 weeks to go in the regular season. They're on 45 points, the Canes are on 43, Brumbies 39, Chiefs 38. Then it's the Reds 31, Rebels 25, Highlanders 23. The race is on for 8th. The Drua are still there at the moment on 17. The Force jumped to 15, Moana and Crusaders are on 14, and the Tars are now at the bottom on 12. Thanks for being with us for another week of Drua Talk with Greg Clark. It's time for our weekly chat with Drua head coach, Mick Byrne. Well, Mick, have you been able to move on from the disappointment in Perth, or will this latest loss on the road linger for a while, considering it was off the back of that promising performance in Canberra the week before?
Yeah, I think you got to move on, Clarky. It was tough. It was tougher to move on this one for sure. I think after the Brumbies, we moved on pretty quickly to Perth, and while disappointing we didn't get a victory in Canberra, you sort of moved on pretty quickly. This one was, you have to move on. There's no choice. You got to move on, but this one was a little bit tougher to just to move forward with. So, but we got there. It was a long travel day back from Perth to reflect on what happened, and not that it came up with many answers, but sort of the disappointment was there, and plenty of time to get over it so that you could get in here on Monday morning and get on with the job.
Mick, I know you and your coaching and management staff are doing everything possible to correct the away record, but can you give us an insight into how the players handle the losses? Do they take ownership?
Yeah, look, I think they're probably at a bit of a loss as well. It probably comes down to the mental aspect of it, which we talked about. The things sort of magnified on Saturday night. I thought that first play when we went left, we had a 3-man overlap. We'd set our game plan up right, and we just had to play through the hands, and we tried to throw some sort of missed pass that didn't go to anybody. And I still think if the ball had gone to the hands and Musty goes through, we probably get on the scoreboard at the start. And who knows what that sets up for us? I think when you're away from home, trying to stay on top of things is a challenge. But it's something we have to get good at. And if we look at teams' history over time, there's been teams that have had to travel big distances. It's taken them a couple of seasons to get on top of that. And I reflect back to maybe the West Coast Eagles when they came into the AFL. For a couple of years there, they struggled away, but no one could beat them at home in Perth. Just that extra little bit of travel, it's something you have to work on in the modern era. And we just have to keep challenging ourselves and looking for the answers.
Let's park the road trips, because the Drua are back at home this week taking on the Reds in Suva. Every game now is like a final. What shape are the guys in mentally and physically? Because this is the part of the season where they really need to step up, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I think when we came in on Monday, everybody was feeling a bit down, so you have to get them up. But you still have to have the hard conversations, and we had those. And but you got to manage it so they come out the other side ready to go, and they did that on Monday. Again, we've had a really physical session today. We came back and there was a lot of boys laying down, having a good rest between sessions today before they went to weight. So that's usually an indication that they've given everything they've got. So I was pretty happy with today's training. But yeah, there was a lot of disappointment in the room yesterday. But the way they went about their job in the afternoon was pleasing.
The Reds are almost certain to be in the playoffs, coming off the back-to-back wins over the Rebels and the Crusaders. Have you been impressed with them?
Yeah, they're playing good rugby. They have some game breakers there. I think Campbell at the fullback, he's able to beat the first defenders, and he's a very, very good player. Paisami's going well in the centre, so we know that they're going to trouble us out wide. They've got good line speed defensively. They attack the ball, they get at you, so we have to be on song, and our forwards are going to have to step up because that forward pack's a bit gnarly at times, and our boys can be as well, so especially at home. I think we're looking forward to obviously getting back onto our home turf and going after the opposition.
The Drua beat the Reds in a must-win game last season. Can you still take something out of that performance, or are they a different side to coach against under Les Kiss?
Oh, I think they're a different side, and it doesn't matter whether it's the same side. There tends to be that, you're moving on, and the thing for them is they'll want to come over and have a better performance than they had last year, so they'll have some motivation there. And but right now it's about the top 8, 3 games to go. The teams have got to keep. If you're in the 8, you've got to keep winning. That's the only way you can stay ahead of the teams below you, is to keep winning. So, and that's in both our hands. As you say, the Reds are probably locked away a position in the finals, and we need to do that on Saturday.
Mick, you and Les Kiss go back a long way, don't you? Did you ever imagine you'd be coaching rivals all those years later?
Not when we were on that little plane over to South Africa together in 2001, in our Plettenberg Bay camp there with the Springboks in 2001, probably coaching against each other in Fiji in 2024 certainly wasn't on anyone's horizon. So it'll be good to link back up with Kissy and catch up with him.
Mick, thanks again for joining us. All the best in Suva and Dunedin and Lautoka in coming weeks. 3 huge games coming up. Go well, mate. Manaka.
Thanks, Clarky. Naka.
So the Drua take on the Reds in Suva Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. kickoff, the final hit out in the capital for the season. So get out there and support the team. They need your support more than ever. You're watching Drua Talk with Greg Clark, and it's time to catch up with Reds Fijian winger Suliasi Vunivalu. Well, Suli, congratulations on the Reds' recent form. 2 wins on the trot against the Crusaders and Rebels, and it looks like you'll definitely be in the playoffs yet again. Are you happy with the season so far?
Yeah, 100%. We as a team are pretty happy with our performance. Our focus was to go to New Zealand and win that game, and then come back and win last week's game. So, 2 from 2. So. Not going ahead of ourselves, but Drua is a good team, and we're looking forward to the challenge up ahead.
Sully, before we talk about Saturday's game, 2 seasons ago you had a decision to make about your next contract, and you opted for the Reds. Why Queensland?
I signed before the year before that, so aim was to try and get into the World Cup squad, and I love Queensland as well. So. The group of boys we have here, I thought we had something going on. So, luckily I stayed, and with the season we're having this year, so we have something special this year, so hopefully we can go all the way through.
What region do you hail from in Fiji? And do you know if many will travel to Suva on Saturday and support the Reds, or will they be supporting the Drua?
Yeah, I'm actually from Suva, so most of my family lived in Suva. So everyone's pretty excited for this game coming up. They turned up in numbers last year when we went and played Drua in Suva. So everyone's pretty excited and looking forward to the game. So we're expecting a big crowd from all the Drua fans. So looking forward to it.
Well, you're one of many Fijians who had to go overseas to further their rugby careers. Are you happy that the Drua is now up and running and giving young Fijians, men and women, an opportunity to pursue a rugby career at home?
Yeah, 100%. We love our rugby back home. Rugby is like our culture growing up. So, they've been trying to pursue this back when I was a kid, trying to make a team like Drua be in the comp. So, to see them doing well in their first, second, third year, I think now. So, it's really good for the younger generation coming up, and it's a good pathway for the kids back home. So, it's good to see them doing well. So.
The Reds suffered a loss to the Drua in Suva last season. What lessons did you learn from that game?
Yeah, we went over to Suva. We knew what was at stake. Them with a bigger crowd, and they play well at home. So, our focus was to start well and be in their face, and we lacked that. We didn't really start well. They started off the mark right from the whistle. So, we came back, and this year's a pretty different team. So, we know what they're gonna bring. So, the boys have been training it through the week, so we're ready for the challenge ahead. So, the boys are pretty excited, which is good.
The Drua struggle on the road, but have you been impressed with how well they can play at home?
Yeah, no, they've been struggling to play outside Fiji, but we don't want to stick with that, knowing that it's going to be an easy game. They had a tough game last week, so that's not our focus, because we know they're going to perform well back home. We're not focusing too much about them. We don't want to do more of ourselves. We'll focus on our game plan and what the coaches have helped us through the week, and we'll stick with that and worry about ourselves, and hopefully the results go our way.
Suli, thanks very much for giving us your time. It's going to be a great occasion in Suva on Saturday. You'll have family and friends there, I know. The last game against the Hurricanes was a sellout in Suva, so hopefully it'll be the same on Saturday. We'll see you there. Banaka.
See, Naka. Thank you.
Suliasi Vunivalu, one of the few Fijians in the Reds squad. He's already a Wallaby. And there's another 6 crunch matches this week. Friday, Hurricanes will look to bounce back to winning form when they host Moana in Wellington. The Rebels will play the Chiefs in Melbourne. Saturday, it's the Drua and Reds in Suva from 2 p.m. Brumbies host the Crusaders in Canberra. The Blues are up against the Highlanders in Auckland. And the Force are home again in Perth playing the Waratahs. Some crucial games again this week. Well, now let's check out Clarky's Corner. On Drua Talk, it's time to see who's in Clarky's Corner. Joining me this week is Drua and flying Fijian prop Haereiti Hetet, Bulla H. What an interesting journey you've been on. New Zealand born and bred, but I believe you've always had a soft spot for Fiji.
Yeah, correct. I grew up pretty much watching Fiji, especially in those, back to when I can remember in the World Cups. So,
Well, let's quickly run through it. You grew up in Otahonga, near Hamilton. You trialled for the Fiji 20s, played for Waikato, Bay of Plenty, Maori All Blacks and Fiji. So how did the move to the Drua come about?
I think I made my debut for Fiji in 2020. So it was prior to that I made the Māori All Blacks in 2019. So we played Fiji, and when I made the Māori All Blacks, it was good, like connecting with my Māori heritage. So that's Māori All Blacks was probably pinnacle for Māori in New Zealand. that was probably a dream of mine growing up. And then after representing them, we played Fiji, obviously. And then in 2020, when I got the call, it was a good opportunity for me to represent my Fijian heritage. So that's how that came about with the Flying Fijians. And then Drua, the professional team, came, and yeah, the rest is history.
Your father is a former Flying Fijian, Joeli Batanyaki, 49 tests for Fiji in the 90s and early 2000s. He hails from Matuku in Fiji. So you've always had rugby in your veins.
Yeah, yes, always had it there. Remember watching him in, I think, the 2003 World Cup, 03. I was young, but all my uncles and that saying that, oh, there's your father playing there. So yeah, it's definitely in the blood.
Now, your father is Fijian, mum is Maori, so tell us about your name, Haereiti Hetet, a Maori and French combination.
Yeah, so Haereiti, I was named after one of my ancestors, which back in the land wars, Haereiti was tasked to take the women and children to safety and keep them safe while the war was happening. And Hetet, in French, the macron's on the last E, and you don't pronounce the H, it's actually Ete. Another ancestor, Louis Hetet, or Hete, came over in 1835, settled in New Zealand. He was one of the settlements, obviously married or had kids with a Māori there, and rest is history. A lot of Māori generations down with the last name Hetet now, as time went over, Hetet, yeah.
Okay, very interesting. And I read that coming to the Drua was a great cultural learning for you. Have you enjoyed that part of things?
Yes, yeah, it was probably another driving factor of me joining was to get in touch with the side of my heritage and the culture, and to be immersed into it. It's been nothing short of amazing and great learnings for me, even to learn Fijian language, the culture, and hopefully I can pass it on to my children. So, yeah.
4 tests for the Flying Fijians. What a proud thing for the family and for you. But you missed last year's Rugby World Cup after picking up that injury in the Super Rugby Pacific quarter-final against the Crusaders. How did you handle that disappointment? It must have been tough.
Yeah, it was tough. When I got injured in that quarter-final, I knew something. It was, something bad. And then once I had surgery and stuff, and I knew that it was sort out a contention to play for Flying Fijians in the World Cup. I couldn't, I couldn't dwell on it too much. I sort of had my little sook about it, and then you had to just move on. I had this season coming up for the Drua, so just had to work hard for the next opportunity that came about. So working hard with my rehab and recovery, and yeah, obviously the getting ready for the Drua season. So yeah.
Yes, hard work pays off, that's for sure. Now, what's the dream looking ahead? No doubt more test caps, hopefully titles with the Drua?
Yeah, well, I hate losing. Winning is a big motivation for me, and especially trying to win with the Fijian Drua would be awesome if we win. That's obviously our target. But I'm just taking it day at a time, week at a time, soaking as much of it as I can, because at the end of the day, rugby is not all, you only get it's only a small part of your life. So just soaking everything up, learn as much as I can, and enjoy the time.
Well, you're only 26. There's World Cups in 2027, 2031. Hopefully you'll make both of them. All the very best, mate. Look forward to seeing you back in action soon, and thanks for joining us. Naka.
Cheers. Naka, Clarky. Naka.
Great to chat to Haereiti and he's been a cornerstone in the Drua scrum all year, and he will be missed in the coming weeks because of injury. But what a great story. Time now for the Drua Try of the Week, a spectacular finish in Perth by Celestino.
Murray. Walk down. Canavare out the back, comes from Ravula and Marcy. And a rather terrible Sublime in the air.
What a great finish, and it was an easy choice for the Drua Try of the Week this week because that was the only one in Perth. We're all hoping for more against the Reds in Suva on Saturday. Just 3 weeks to go in the regular season. Time for all teams to really hit their straps, and we've seen some great rugby as we head to the business end. Let's take in some of the action from week 12.
Blue and black strip, and Nick White sending it back towards halfway. Strong take from Drua Sese. And the skipper, Drua. Much needed points on offer, and it is pretty ugly initially off the tee, but it works from left to right, and
That's really disappointing, that distance, isn't it, Johnny Lance, for the Drua?
Yeah, they would have had the call for the maul. It was throw the tricky line out at them, but yeah, they would have had the maul call, and then they have to change it, which puts a bit of doubt in the mind.
Searching for try number one, Rodder for the force, sprinting out to slow things down. Vote about 8 away. Here is Mitchell, or Murray rather. Armstrong Ravula through with a player down in back play. Murray walk down. Canavare out the back, Armstrong Ravula and Marcy. And a rather terrible Sublime in the air. Wonderful pace, and Fijian Drua start the second half with a try. And the work he's putting on that ball, again, really impressive stuff from him. It is. Kinetic passages of play. Suliasi brought down, and Valentini gives it away. Valentini gets it back. Valentini is through. Valentini needs support, and he breaks it up, and here's Jeremy Williams.
Yes, some great Super Rugby action from week 12. Don't miss a beat this week because all games are now crunch games heading into the business end. Time is just about up for another Drua Talk with Greg Clark. Once again, I'll leave you with a look at the Swire Shipping Fijian Drua men's squad to take the field this Saturday arvo in Suva against the Reds. Kick-off 2 p.m. Get there early, make it another sellout in the capital if you can. Bye for now. Mother.